The process of building trust within a group, which should create a network. It is with regard to the life story of Madame Touré or Moussa. We identified a lot of challenges that they overcame in personal terms and in professional terms as well. And that is quite reassuring. It builds trust within the group. The group has confidence. It shows how their life path, their life has allowed us to understand the process of how to build networks, and we can rely on them in terms of their value, their humility, and even in terms of their understanding of their mission, what they have to do. Their experiences, they went through all of the 4 criteria that were defined, the principles of building a network. Thank you.
Okay.
This exercise, I believe, was quite important, because it highlights the importance of trust. When, in our case, when we want to build networks, when stakeholders are together, they need to know each other, they need to collaborate with each other, but at some level we do not know each other very well. So in this exercise we can talk about ourselves, talk about our life experience, so that the other one can understand, draw lessons from your life experiences, and build on all these complementarities so that we can build our network. So this exercise, which was an interaction, we get to know each other and move ahead. That is the main lesson we drew from this exercise.
Thank you.
Through this exercise, I understand that we can exchange and know each other. Here I am with some Gambians, and I got to know their life experience, and I told them about my experience as well. So it's a way of building trust between the members of a group in order to build a network. Thank you.
Oui. Pour ne pas se faire.
I do not want to repeat, but I can just say that through this exercise, I understood that my colleague opened up, really. He placed his trust in me by giving me certain details about his life, and that creates some bond between the two of us. I also saw that he was able to address some challenges in his life, and I saw that he always found a way to overcome these challenges. So when he was explaining to me his life experiences, which was not a normal life experience, really. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. What I need to point out is in a network, at the very beginning, people try to hold on to their territories. But as we get along in the network, we get to know each other better. So based on the exercise just now, I was able to understand from my colleagues what they have been through, some of the challenges, and how they were able to overcome those challenges. So in a network, from the very beginning, it's challenging, but as we get to know each other better, we get to trust and build that confidence. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So from our stories, we got to understand that we are all from different backgrounds. And the way each and every one of us opened up to tell us where we are all coming from shows how honest and truthful we are, and how we will be able to work together. So we've got to understand that when we are building network, we need to be humble. We need to trust each other to be able to go on with whatever we are doing. So that's how I got to understand our stories. Thank you.
We have two more speakers. We go to Senegal, then we come back to Liberia.
Yeah.
What I can say is that this exercise was quite interesting. It's an exercise to build trust between people. In every group, of course, there is the way the group is formed, but this stage is quite fundamental. There are other stages in developing a group. There is the storming phase before coming to the performance stage.
Listening to the stories from listening to the stories from our colleagues, there were a lot of things that were observed and learned, especially from networks at work. You could observe that initially people wasn't to open up, because firstly they need to establish whether we could be trusted amongst ourselves and allow others to tread our uncharted territories. So when these revelations were made, we also observed that we brought out the reality in the essence of accomplishing the mission. So it's not about individual no more, rather it's about what we set our eyes on and what we want to achieve. So simply put, we realized that we all were go-getters and we needed to trust ourselves and we needed to move on together. Thank you.
Marty, over to you.
Yes. Thank you, Jonas. And thank you for managing that so well. It was really heartwarming to hear your responses. And I think you pulled out so many of the core reasons why we want to do that exercise. And we hope that you feel comfortable now in being able to lead that when you go and work on building your networks. There are things that we gain when we are vulnerable with each other, and we then can sense that many people that we work with in networks have gone through challenges in their lives. They have experienced things in their journey that have shaped them, much like the journey in the life of a network itself will have challenges. And when we can face those together, be honest with each other, and be authentic with each other, then we can confront those challenges much easier. It's so important to not just skim over all of those things that we don't want to confront, because eventually they will surface and we will have to deal with them. And it's a lot easier to deal with them in the very beginning as opposed to letting things go too long. So the next exercise that we're going to do relates to this coordination of existing actions that we talked about yesterday. And this exercise is called gives and gets. And to do this is at our tables, we're going to take maybe 10 minutes. I think we can take 15, Jane, maybe, and go around the table, and the person shares. They are able to give to the success of the shared goal, the shared purpose that you today. What can you contribute, either you yourself or your to the of the network? Also, then, after you've gone around and collected the gives, and someone should write these down just as a practice, because you're going to want to repeat this exercise when you build your networks. What do you need to get out of being part of the network? So it's this sort of mutual understanding that we all have some self-interest in participating in a network. And so we need to be honest about what we need to get. But then we also can talk about our common interest, our shared purpose, and say, what can we contribute? And in so doing, many times we find when groups go through these exercises that someone is already doing something that I could probably do in my area, or I can replicate, or they have a strength that will offset some challenge that I have. So this is really the opportunity of moving past the trust now and getting to a place where we're willing to, what is it that we need to have and what is it that we can give? And so I think we have 15 minutes, Jonas, that you can go table and do this exercise, and hopefully someone can take notes, and we'll talk about how well the
But I think the exercise is very clear. At each table we take 15 minutes, and we just make a listing of what we can get and what we can give in building our network.
Yes.
Very good. So we start from now. We have 15 minutes. This exercise will take us to, 12:45.
No.
Okay. See you in 15
Thank
minutes.
you.
Yeah, thank you.